Greetings Internet, and welcome back to another video. Today we have a Sony TA-AX4. This is a stereo component amplifier. This came out in the 1981 and 1982 Sony product model year, and it is a 100 watt 50 per channel amplifier. And it's part of a larger component stack I've been piecing together over the past couple months, and we'll get to those later on. But this one here I bought working, and it does indeed work, so I won't bore you with any of those details. The one thing that I was kind of wondering when I bought it is all the pictures, there aren't very many pictures of this thing, but all the pictures that I've seen, this volume level indicator was never lit up, and I was always wondering if when I got it, if that would light up or not. And I can't find a user manual or a service manual or any documentation on this machine, so I didn't really have much to go on. I just kind of assumed it would light up, and when I plugged it in, sure enough, it didn't. So at first I was like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But when it's dark in the room, you can't tell at all how loud it is, and so you have to use your phone to see how bright it is. It's actually pretty annoying, and I thought to myself, well, it can't be that hard. There's probably just a light bulb in there. You pop it in, you pop it out, no big deal. It turns out it's quite a bit more complicated than that. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but first we're going to just take a look at this and check out some of the features and talk a little bit about the styling, which I like a lot about it. So for a period of time, as Sony was kind of transitioning to the digital stuff, they still kept a lot of this old school analog knobby feel. Really good solid knobs and buttons. I also really like that everything's square, which is kind of cool too. This is all brushed aluminum, so this has got a good high quality feel to it. But essentially, you got two speakers, bass, treble, loudness, and whatnot. Pretty basic stuff. As we kind of swing it around to the back, get a better look at the backside here. Another thing that's really nice about these is they have three outlets on them, which is really nice for component stacks. Like it said here, TA-AX4. This says it is a 100 watt system, 50 per each side, standard RCA jacks with a little ground for a turntable, and A and B speakers. So pretty featureful system, basic layout, not a lot going on here, but pretty feature packed in such a small shape. Normally these stereos are twice this size, so it's very thin, which we'll get into another part of that later on, which is actually pretty impressive. So that's what it looks like on the outside. We'll get into taking it apart and checking out the inside and showing why it is replacing a light bulb on this machine is so complicated. Step one is to take the top off. Yeah, the first thing I find totally crazy about this receiver is these heat pipes that are back here. I don't know, this is my first Sony receiver like this, so I don't know if this was standard at the time, but it seems to me like this was a pretty advanced use of technology back then. I just imagine that must have been like freaking space age or something to have heat pipes in the unit, and that's probably why, just guessing, they were able to get such a small form factor as to use these enormous heat pipes to keep everything very cool. So that must have been alien technology back then. And then the second thing I find really interesting about this receiver is this pulse power supply. Here's a little closer look at that quote-unquote pulse power supply, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I do find it interesting they have a little schematic on here that says, it's got noise filter right here, and this says high power oscillator, and then ferrite core transformer, and then full wave rectifier and LC filters. So kind of a nifty looking power supply. Normally you see those big transformers with all the wires and coils around them. but you don't necessarily see like an integrated modular component like this. So that was another like really interesting find when I opened it up. Next, to get the lights to replace, we still need to take some more stuff off. We have to take the bottom off here, so we'll do that now. Okay, and the first thing I noticed when I took this off the first time was what exactly it is that's going on right here. When I pressed the volume up and down button, you know, when I first plugged it in, I didn't take it apart or anything. I just saw if it worked. I heard some mechanical stuff going on when you press up and down on the volume, but I didn't exactly know what was going on. And as it turns out, there is a little motor here which moves this string, and the string is connected to a piece of tape, and the tape has the color either for the volume indication or it's just blacked out, and that tape wraps around here, and so when you increase the volume, it moves the tape from one side to the other, which is just like crazy. I thought it was like some sort of LCD panel in there, but it's not. It's a piece of tape that goes around these strings and shows you what the level of the volume is. So that was kind of the first thing that blew my mind. But we're not even close to done disassembling yet. The lights are inside of this white part here, but we can't really see those yet. You can actually see the lighting apparatus if we take this metal inspection bay off here. There are 3 little LED, or not LEDs, these are actually incandescent mini bulbs. So they look like LEDs, but they're actually little incandescent light bulbs. And my theory is that these are blown out. So I had looked at one of them as close as I could with my eye, and I thought I saw a broken filament in one of them, and so I believe replacing all of those should be our problem. But as I flip it over and take the other part of it apart, you'll quickly see why it's pretty difficult to change these. They are soldered in a very precarious spot. Actually, before we flip it over, we need to take out these screws here, which hold on the front faceplate. So that is the faceplate off. Now, we're still not even close here, unfortunately. So how this works is this whole unit is kind of screwed on top of here, and the board that has the lights in it, make sure you can see, is actually down in here, and so you can see the tops of those bulbs inside of this machine. And so you think, well, I'll just take off these buttons and no problem, right? Well, unfortunately, it is still not that easy. And one of the ways I've found that's actually easiest to do this is to detach the buttons from the plastic parts behind them. So I'm gonna go grab a little pliers and we'll pop those out before we try to take this out anymore. Alright, now that the buttons have been removed, like I said, these wires aren't removable. They're soldered directly to the board, and so you're kind of just stuck with, you know, this much access to this G board where all of our lights are. So I'm going to try and think of a way to get that out. Now, this is about as far as I've gone, so I'm not sure how that comes out of there, but I will try to figure it out. So it appears to be pretty simple. There are some plastic, I don't know what you call those, like plastic rivets two of the black ones there, and should be able to just push those through, and our little G board should come right. Okay, well it's out there, so we'll flip it back and bring it back topside and see what we can do about getting those bulbs desoldered. Okay, we're back topside, so let's see if we can't finagle that G board out of here. So unfortunately, that is about all the room you get to work on. Now, I should be able to get my desoldering gun in here and get these out. I'm not too worried about that. But due to this wire back here, that's all you get. So we're gonna have to be pretty close about it. All right, now these bulbs I've got here are actually pretty tricky to find. I had to get them from a guy in like Ukraine or something bananas. There's only one place in the world that sells these little incandescent mini bulbs. Let's see here. See that. So what we've got is two AAA battery packs together. That's 8.5 volts. These are 8-volt bulbs, same as the bulbs that are in the machine. And so you can see if I connect these packs here, there. So it's pretty easy to test this stuff to see if it works or not. You just run it through the little bulb battery pack. And so the theory is that we take these 3 bulbs out of here, and one of those will not light up when we connect it with the battery source. Alright, I did actually find when I was messing around there's a zip tie you can cut in the back that gives you a little more slack. So instead of having a heart attack trying to desolder next to all these plastic switches, we have quite a bit of room to actually work now. So I'm going to apply a little bit of fresh solder to these bulbs, and we will then use the desoldering gun to pull them out. And 3. Now the leg just came off of it, so I guess I can't tell if it's bad anymore, but this bulb is visibly dark, and I'm not sure if you can tell at all. That bulb is definitely dark looking, so unfortunately the leg just fell off of it, so I don't know if I'll be able to test it or not. Let's get these bulbs tested up and we'll see if they light up still, and if they do, then something else is wrong, and this video is going to be a little different than I thought it was going to be. There's bulb number 1, dead. Just to be sure, let's try a known good bulb. Yep, that bulb's good. This bulb's bad. So right there, one of them is already dead. Second bulb. Second bulb is also dead. So I can't test the third one because, like I said, the leg broke off of it, but so far both of these two are bad. They don't light up at all. And the third one, I'm guessing, also doesn't light up because it actually looks the worst out of all of them. So yeah, definitely looks like it was a bad bulb. And the bulbs I got are quite a bit bigger, but they still should fit through the holes, no problem. So let's get the replacement bulbs put back in there, and yeah, Okay, so there are our bulbs replaced, and we should be able to just power this thing on and check if they work. Okay, we have the receiver plugged in, and I just now realized I never showed you guys that it didn't work, but hopefully, by testing these, it's kind of proof that it didn't work. And just a quick note on these. Bulbs they're connected in series, and so if one of them was bad, none of them are going to light up. But I guess I find it really interesting that them being in series, that all three of them blew. I would have expected just one of them to have gone, and then that would disconnect the circuit, and it wouldn't have blown the other ones. But apparently, all three of them. Well, we know two of them blew. I'm assuming the third one also blew. So let's plug this in, and we'll see if it works. What do you think? Is it going to work? Another note is again, these aren't the exact same bulb, and so I don't know if these are going to be too bright or not bright enough. But you really don't get very many choices with these lights. So you can't see my finger. I'm here, and I'm about to press the power button. It is plugged in, right? Yes, it's plugged in. What do you think? Is it gonna work? Let's see. Oh, yes! Ooh. Okay, all right. Yeah, you should be able to see. I want to be careful. I don't want to die. Let's see. How can I touch this so that I won't die? There we go. You should be able to see. There is our board. All lit up now. So that was it. That was the problem. The bulbs had blown for whatever reason, and we have now replaced them with bulbs that appear to be okay in brightness. So let's get it back together and be one of the first people since whoever bought these new to actually see what it looks like with the volume meter having lights on it. Again, not surprised that none of these have lights working on them anymore, because how crazy it is to replace them. So before we wrap this whole thing back up, I wanted to show another angle of how crazy this volume machine works. And so you can kind of see what I was saying before. This is just a piece of tape, and the part of it that's white obviously lets the light through, and the part that's dark does not let the light through. And so if we move this here, the front of the unit here, this is just like a transparent window with little openings on it that light can shine through, and then however far the white is down here, illuminates the notches on the volume slider. So just a totally bananas mechanical solution to something that they had. I have to imagine they had LCDs at the time, but I have no idea why they would have gone with this the circus for a mechanism. But it's since actually made me kind of like it a little bit more. I like how just goofy it is, and so I've grown quite fond of it, despite how difficult it is to change the dang bulb. All right, let's get this thing back together and check it out. Alright guys, it's the moment of truth. I've got everything back together. I've got a lot of the lights off. I'm going to turn the final light off right before I turn it on here, but I am really excited to see what this looks like, because like I said, I haven't seen any pictures of it yet. So let's flip the lights off and let's turn it on. It's gonna be dark. Ooh, sweet! Oh, wow! Okay, hold on, let me zoom in here a little bit. This is unexpected. Actually, I did not think it was gonna have anything other than the bars on it. But as it turns out, there's little 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s on there. I didn't even know those were there. That's pretty cool. So now, finally, you can see as I'm gonna increase the volume, it will slide across as you increase the volume. So that's that tape going back and forth through that mechanical wheel craziness. Now, there's one other thing that I forgot to mention that didn't work, which I'm also kind of curious now, is there was a muting light that was not working before. When you press the mute button, that did not work, and I wonder if those are connected. I'm gonna press the mute button now. Oh, sweet! Yes, that works too. Oh, awesome. Okay. I didn't know it was red. Sweet. Okay, so I guess the theory behind that would be that. Oh, actually, yeah, you can tell. Okay, so this is why. When you turn the muting on, the actual bar gets a little bit dimmer. So they must be in series as well. So with the mute, that's definitely what it is. So the muting light wasn't working because the other lights weren't on. They are all in series, or of some sort. So if one doesn't work, the others don't work. Wow, that is awesome. Actually, I did not expect there to be little numbers on there. But that looks so cool. Sweet. That is going to do it for this video. I'm super excited that that's what it was. And yeah, I'll be happy to be able to use this without shining a flashlight on it when it's dark. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And I will see you on the next one.